So now welcome back and just continue it from my previous video. So we can see the deployment is completed, and if you have not watched my previous video you can just go it from the link in the description box and watch the previous video where we have created this virtual machine. So now the deployment of that virtual machine is completed. You can also watch the entire series of this Azure Beginners to Professional. The link is in description box, so you can take it from there. Okay, so let's continue. We can see the deployment is complete. The couple of recommendations suggested by Microsoft, those are mentioned here. You can also download the entire script in the JSON format, so you can see it, how it's deployed or what are the commands executed. So let's start with go to resources. Okay, so when I clicked on this, I will be moved to this particular page of this particular server with all details. I can see it related to app SVR or my virtual machine. So let me just go back on my home. So here you can see the recent used virtual machine details are there. If I click on the option virtual machines, I'll be getting this option here. This is my virtual machine which I have just created. Here you can see the network configuration and the connections, disk size, security. We have not added any explicit disk. If you want to add it, you can also attach a new disk here. You can see the default disk which is associated. It's around 127 gigs and the maximum IOPS is 500. You can see it here. That is a default one attached here. You can attach additional disk and learns information from here. Okay, now just I'm going to click on the overview. From here you can connect it, restart it, stop or delete it. The same you can also will get option to in the connect if you want to just connect it. So let me quickly click on connect to show you, and this is what the total structure like here, the public IP, private IP address, monitoring capabilities, all these things would be listed. So I'm just going to click on connect option to connect my VM. Clicked if I have a Linux, I can use the SSH also. So here it's a Windows machine, so I can connect it through an RDP only. I just clicked on the download RDP and clicked on this RDP to connect it. I will be getting a warning message box here. And once I clicked on this, so it's asking me to enter the credential. I need to enter the credential that I used at the time of creation. You can refer my previous video to see how it was created. Okay, now it's again warning. Just click on yes to continue it. So now I'm connected with the this virtual machine which I built just now. So it's loading, taking a couple of minutes to load it as it's in the first time after the deployment. So now my server is ready. We can see what is the configuration. Okay, it's talking about the network because it's taking it from the DHCP. If I open the network settings, so this is what the IP address it's taking it, and it is taking from one of the DHCP server. This is the DHCP server, this is the DNS server, and this is my default gateway. This is the default IP. So this is what we have available here. If you want to set up an static configuration, you can also set it up. Okay, then if I go in the add roles and the features, so you will be getting a couple of options. Might be a couple of options you would not get it here for the installation or for deployment purpose. Like it's DHCP, you can configure it from here, but it's exactly not implemented as a service in cloud. Same as for the features, if I put it NLB, but in the real environment structure, network load balancing will not work. Reason is that Microsoft provides those functionalities with uh, load balancer level, and it's like hardware load balancer or the software load balancer basically. It's placed apart from this server, and you can connect the servers with the load balancer. We will discuss about how we can set up the load balancer with Azure. So this is now my complete server is ready to go. So let me just quickly close down it. And if I go back and the start, I will be getting an option shut down, disconnect and everything. Right now I'm disconnecting it to go back on my session. If I taken a shutdown, I can start my VM from here. If I shut down the VM from console, suppose someone has accidentally turned off the server, you can start it from here, or you can manage your entire server here. So once we have seen that the IP address which is there in the server, let me just quickly once again show you the same IP address. Okay, okay. So here, let me just, okay. So if I take it from the IP here, the public IP is completely different and this private IP address is different. So once we integrated with the environment, I have to use this IP and I should not use this IP. This is a public one that is exposed over an internet, but the private one that must be used by internal machines or internal clients. So let me just go back here. Okay, so my machine is running and I already log in on the server. We have seen we can configure the DNS configuration from here if I want to. Like I just go back on this server. So this is all about how we have created a server and how we can connect to this virtual machine. We can shut down it, we can restart it from here, and we can associate a disk, etc. It's just like a physical server, or if you have a vCenter and you worked on virtual machines in the vCenter or in a hypervisor or Hyper-V. So you have an option to attach the disk, etc. The same way it's available here. You can attach the network cards and the network configuration here. You can set up network port rules, etc. So for this, you have to shut down the server, then you will get this option enable, and it would be totally depend on the plans and the type of virtual machine. Couple of other things are there. We will discuss all these in the next upcoming video. We'll talk about more and how we have set up. We can scale out the virtual machines, how we can put the load balancings, how we can connect the configuration from point to site or site to site VPNs, etc. to access these VMs. So till now, that's all about this video, and we will be back in the next video and we will reconnect it once again. Till that time, you can subscribe this channel and watch this series as your beginners to professional. The entire series link is in the description box, and my previous and the next videos links are also there, so you can watch it from there. Thank you so much.